Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive. Today we're diving into a question that's on a lot of homeowners' minds, especially here in Australia, and it's a big one. To renovate or not to renovate?
Yeah, that's the question, isn't it?
It really is. I mean, with the market being all over the place, up and down like a roller coaster, and then you've got construction costs going through the roof, it's a tough time to figure out if renovating is the right move.
Yeah, it really is a bit of a puzzle right now, isn't it? There's just so much to consider.
Exactly. But don't worry, because we've come armed with some serious intel to help us unpack it all. We're talking about the Herron Todd White Month in Review Report, the August 2024 edition. This report is like, if you want to know what's really going on in the Aussie reno scene, this is it.
It's true. This report is packed with insights, and not just general stuff either. They've got local property experts from all over Australia weighing in. It's super granular, hyper-local even.
Hyper-local. I like that. Okay, so I always say the best way to learn is from real-life examples, right? And this report has a doozy. Get this, there's a homeowner in Dulwich Hill. Picture this. They pour their heart, soul, probably a good chunk of their life savings into this top-of-the-line renovation, right?
I'm already nervous for them. What happened?
A year later, they end up selling for less than they originally bought the place for.
Ouch. Talk about a renovation nightmare. That's got to hurt.
Right. I mean, talk about a cautionary tale. So now I'm sure some of you are thinking, okay, so is renovating just a bad idea right now? Should we all just forget about our dream homes?
Well, hold on a second. Don't give up on those dreams just yet. The report also highlights some really impressive success stories. Like, there's this homeowner in St. Ives who bought a pretty dated property, decided to just go for it, demolished the whole thing, built a brand new place from scratch. They sold it this year, and get this, for a massive profit.
Whoa. Okay, so what's the secret sauce? What's the difference between a Reno flop and a Reno win?
That's where the real gold in this report comes in. It all boils down to understanding a few key things. First, your local market. You got to know what's in demand in your specific area. Second, your risk tolerance. How much are you willing to gamble? And finally, having a solid strategy.
So it's more than just picking out some nice tiles and a fresh coat of paint.
Way more. This isn't some home improvement show where everything magically comes together in 30 minutes. This is about making informed, strategic decisions about your biggest asset. And the report, it really emphasizes the importance of research.
Okay, so we're talking more than just scrolling through real estate listings here. Tell me more about this research.
Absolutely. You've got to get out there. Attending open houses in your target neighborhood, that's crucial. You get a feel for what buyers are responding to, what's hot, what's not. Plus, you get a sense of the prices renovated properties are actually fetching.
It's like real-time market research, but you're doing it in person.
Exactly. Another thing the report suggests is connecting with local real estate agents, especially ones who specialize in renovated properties. They live and breathe this stuff. They know what buyers in your area are looking for, what adds value, what doesn't.
So understanding those local market dynamics is key. What else can help us navigate this crazy renovation world?
Well, the report is pretty clear. Flipping properties for a quick profit. That's a risky game right now. It's just not the market for it.
Yeah, it seems like everyone I know who tried to flip a house lately is stuck with it.
That's because flipping, it depends on a market that's appreciating fast. And that's not the reality in a lot of Australia right now. The report suggests that, especially in this market, renovations should be viewed as a long-term investment.
Long-term, got it. So no more get-rich-quick ranch shows on TV then. It's all about playing the long game now.
That seems to be the message, yeah. And the report actually backs this up with some data. For instance, over in Sydney's Inner West, renovated properties, they're going for like a 10–15% premium compared to ones that haven't been touched.
Oh, wow. Okay, so it's not like you can't make money, but it's got to be strategic.
Exactly. And that means understanding not just the market trends in general, but the kind of property you're working with, too.
Yeah.
Like, the report makes this point. Renovating a cute little character home, something with some history, that's a whole different ballgame than, say, a newer place.
Oh, for sure. Like with an older home, you never know what you're going to find, right? Could be heritage listings or some weird structural thing hidden in the walls.
Exactly. And those surprises, they can really blow a hole in your budget if you're not careful. And speaking of budgets, that's another thing the report really digs into. It's not enough to just think about the construction costs, even though, yeah, those are pretty crazy right now.
Tell me about it. Everyone I know who's renovated recently has a story about costs going up.
Right. It seems like it's just part of the process these days, unfortunately. Supply chain issues, finding good tradespeople, it all takes time. And time equals money, right? The report actually recommends adding in a buffer, maybe 10–20% on top of your initial budget, just in case.
Probably a smart move, even if you think everything's going perfectly. So we've covered a lot of ground here, researching like crazy, knowing your property inside and out, budgeting for the unexpected. What other golden nuggets does this report have for us?
Well, it really stresses this idea of aligning your renovation with your overall goals. Are you picturing yourself in this house in 10 years? Or are you thinking of selling in the next few years? Because those are very different scenarios.
That's a really good point. I guess if you're staying put for a while, you can get away with being a little more, well, putting your own stamp on the place.
Right, it can be more about what you want, but if you're going to sell soon, got to think about what buyers in your area are looking for. It goes back to that hyper-local research we were talking about before.
Makes sense. What's trendy in one suburb could be a total flop in another.
Totally. And again, this is where those local agents are worth their weight in gold. They can steer you toward renovations that'll actually increase your property's value.
It's all starting to click now. Timing is everything when it comes to renovating, huh? What's the report saying about the market right now? And more importantly, what can we expect in the future?
Well, right now, the report says things are a little, well, I guess subdued is the word. But there are hints that things could be looking up soon.
Okay, tell me more. Give me some hope for my dream kitchen renovation. So are you saying there's hope for renovators like me?
The report seems to think so.
Yeah.
It says that if construction costs settle down, which they have to eventually, right? And if interest rates go down too, we could see a lot more renovation activity.
So maybe it's not time to start demolishing walls just yet, but it sounds like it's the perfect time to get those plans in order.
Exactly. Don't waste this time. Get out there, do your research, find some inspiration.
Yeah.
Talk to those local experts we were talking about. Heck, even just doodle some ideas. That way, when the market's ready, you are too.
Love it. Be prepared. Now, even if someone's not planning a full-on renovation right this second, this report has some really interesting stuff to say about the future of renovations overall. One thing that really jumped out at me was this whole idea of sustainability becoming such a big deal. I mean, we hear about it everywhere these days, right? But I'm curious how that plays out specifically with renovations.
It's a huge shift happening right now. And the report, it makes it clear. Sustainability. It's not just for the eco-conscious anymore. It's becoming a major factor for buyers. Like, it can actually add value to your property.
Wow, so we're talking about what's good for the planet also being good for your wallet.
Exactly. And the report gives examples too, like even simple things, swapping out old appliances for energy efficient ones, switching to LED light bulbs, small changes that add up over time.
Right. Every little bit helps.
Absolutely. And then there are the big ticket items, of course, solar panels, rainwater tanks, that sort of thing. They shrink your environmental impact, and they can save you serious money on your bills in the long run.
So you're not just making a pretty home, you're making a home that's good for the planet and saves you money.
Exactly. And as Australia tries to hit those net zero targets, those sustainable features, they're only going to become more important. Buyers are getting smarter about this stuff, and they're willing to pay more for homes that reflect their values.
It's like future-proofing your renovation almost.
100%. You're not just trying to keep up with the Joneses anymore. You're ahead of the game.
This has been amazing. I feel like we've covered it all. Those nitty-gritty construction costs, the ups and downs of the market, all the way to the big picture, like sustainability and what renovations are going to look like down the road.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot to think about. But as the report makes clear, if you go in with a plan, you do your research, you're patient, renovating in Australia, it's still totally possible to create that dream home, something that's perfect for you and built to last.
So for anyone out there dreaming of a renovation, whether it's a total gut job or just a few eco-friendly upgrades, remember what we learned today. Research, budget, and always think long-term.
And don't be afraid to get creative. Renovations are all about making your vision a reality. With a bit of imagination, you can create a space that's beautiful, sustainable, all you.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of Australian renovations. We hope you learned a lot, got inspired, and hey, maybe even feel a little more prepared to tackle your own renovation project. Until next time, happy renovating.